Hey everybody, welcome back to Pillar to Post. Um, I missed a day updating you on how everything's going. So this is day 3 and 4 of my intermittent fasting that I began to get healthier, lose weight, and help with my diabetes and other health issues that I've been experiencing over the years. Gotta say, it has been going extremely well. Now, I've had to alter my game plan a little bit to suit my family life and everyday life of what I go through. So, I've basically been doing, like, I did the first 2 days of fasting, 44 hours in total. I didn't go 48. Um, and then I began 20, and then I eat, and then I'm back on the fast. Um, Now, day 2, when I updated last, I explained everything to everyone. I had about 1.5 potatoes. Now, this is one thing I didn't do earlier on, so I'm going to start from day 1. These are my sugar levels from day 1. At 13 hours in of the first day of fasting, my sugar levels were 6.4. At 16 hours, it was down to 6.0. And then 20 hours in, it was 4.6. That's when I got a little bit nervous because I am type 2 diabetic. I am insulin dependent. Let me explain one thing though. When I started the fast, I stopped taking all my diabetic meds. I wanted to purge myself and of all the chemicals that I'm putting in my body. So at hour 24, it raised back up to 5.3, and that was like right before I went to bed. So really good numbers and exactly where you want them to be for a diabetic or any person. It should be in a range of anywhere from 4 to 8. Now, I don't know what kind of numbers that the U.S. or any other country uses, but for diabetics here in Ontario, Canada, the meters read like from 1, which is like extremely low or not registering at all, and you're basically probably dead or in a coma, all the way up to God knows what. At my worst, I was 38.9. And they were like shocked that I wasn't in a diabetic coma or I hadn't experienced diabetic shock. Day 2 is when I weighed myself, and I should have weighed myself on day 1, but I didn't have a scale at the time, so I went out and bought one. I was 326 pounds on day 2. At 30 hours into the first fast, my sugar levels were 6 even. At 36 hours in, it jumped up to 6.7, but at 42 hours, it dropped down to 5.4. Now, at 44 hours, I broke my fast, and I had 1.5 potatoes, and my sugar level spiked at 11.8. So, I knew right away I made a mistake. I went to potatoes, which is a very starchy food. Starch turns into fat in your system. I mean, yeah, starch turns into sugar really quickly in your system, and for diabetics, not very healthy. So that told me right away I can't eat what the rest of my family eats. They have healthy systems. They don't have to worry about being insulin dependent and stuff like that. By 48 hours, and I had already been 4 hours back on the fast then. It went back down to 7.4, which was really good. I was happy to see that. Now, since I broke the fast, I basically started to restart when I start calculating the hours. So had a busy day on the third day. But I weighed myself in the morning, and I weighed myself 3 times. And what I do is, because if you'll find if you weigh yourself, for the most part, it'll come out different every time. So what I did is I weighed myself 3 times, and I took the highest number, and that's what I went with. So at on day 3, I was 323.9 pounds. So I had already lost basically 3 pounds at that point. So 18 hours into the third day, my sugar levels were at 8, and they stayed that way up till, well, at 13 hours, still 8. But at 19.5 hours, they had dropped down to 5.5 again, which was a good sign. That meant my body was starting to clean shit out again. At 20 hours, I broke my fast again. Ate chicken breast and about a palm-sized amount of French fries. And my wife, she had a hamburger, and she could only eat half. I took one bite, gave the rest to the dogs. So at 20 hours, like I said, broke my fast. And then the way it works is usually you 2 hours after diabetic eats, he checks your blood. I waited 4 hours. My sugar levels had gone back to 8. 8 is a safe zone still, so that's very good. Now today is day 4. Day 4, 11 hours in, and when I say 11 hours in, I'm talking about from when I stopped calculating the last time. So I hit the 24-hour mark, I sleep, and then I wake up and I test my sugar levels. So 11 hours into day 4, it was 7.6. Awesome. I just checked it now at 18 hours in, and it was 6.7. Now, like I said, I'll be breaking my fast again tonight. I'll have another chicken breast, and it'll be just the chicken breast this time, or maybe some vegetable soup. I haven't decided yet. Don't want to get myself sick and tired of chicken breast. But I weighed myself at 2 p.m. this afternoon. Now, the first time I stepped on the scale, it showed 314 pounds, and I went, no. So I moved the scale to a different area, and I weighed myself 3 times, and all 3 times it came up 319.7. 7 pounds. 7 pounds in 4 days. Now, I'm not making this all about my weight. I don't want to do that, and I don't want anyone to think of that. I want to find something that works for me, something that works to make me healthier, helps me lose weight, and helps me get stronger, not just in body, but in mind. And I'm doing these 20-hour fasts, and then I eat, and then back on the fast. Because, one, I've already noticed a lot of good signs from it. I suffer from lymphedema. Lymphedema, basically, what that is water separates from your blood cells, and gravity takes hold, and that water goes to the lowest part of your body, which is your legs. Now, have you ever seen anyone that's overweight with these huge legs? I'm going to say it myself. At one point, I even said it looked like I had a goddamn elephant leg. And it usually only affects one of my legs, and that's the leg that has all the damage from the accident I was in, the nerve damage and that. The other leg occasionally will swell a little bit, but for the most part is my left leg. I've had 7 surgeries on that leg. I've got severe nerve damage in the leg. Things just don't work right with that leg. And one thing I've noticed since I started this fasting, and like I said, it's only intermittent fasting at this point. This is the 4th day in. I feel a big difference in my left leg. It's smaller. It's not as big. The swelling isn't as bad, and the skin isn't as tight. So, and I'm drinking, like, don't kid yourself, I am drinking about a gallon of water a day. And in my thought with doing the water fasting was, the biggest fear I had was, is it going to what the water in my blood cells doing, and that's just fall to the lowest part of my body. And thankfully, it has not. Um, Another thing, like my sugar levels, I just read them all out to you, and you know, a big change from being in the high teens, 20s. I have been able to stay in those golden ratios for my sugar levels, except for when I had those potatoes. Now, I did have a palm size amount of French fries with my chicken breast, but it wasn't enough to kick it over. It went up to 8, and it was good. So I already know, just from that experience alone, I have to change my eating habits even more drastically than I did before going into this. I cut a lot of grease out of my food, and I grew up in a family that lived off of greasy foods. They say Greeks love their greasy foods and that, but hell, you take German cooking, man, you'll find out real quickly how greasy the food can get. But I'm going to continue this until Wednesday, the intermittent fasting, the 20-hour fast, and then break for a small meal, and then back on the fast until Wednesday. I've got 2 big trips I've got to make due to medical purposes for my wife and my youngest daughter. And then it's just in town driving. So come Wednesday, I'm going full on into a 5 to 7 day fast. And during that time, I'm also going to take it upon myself to kick the smoking habit. Now, I was planning on doing this I was planning on doing a 3-day fast, and then once the 3rd day kicked, I was going to kick the cigarettes aside. But I'm going to hold off because I'm going to say this right now: driving in big cities is very frustrating, very stressful, and I don't know if I'll be able to not have a cigarette in my mouth during those drives. I'm going to say I allow myself small cheats in the fast, and for a simple reason. I've talked to a bunch of people, and I've watched a lot of stuff, and even they don't do a pure water fast, at least not some of them. I was given some advice to trick my mind a little bit that it's had some food. Like, you usually want to stick with black coffee, green tea, lemon water, or something like that, I guess. Also, to further your cleanse, you want to do a concoction of cayenne pepper, lemon, apple cider, and water. That'll help cleanse your system even further. But they said allow yourself to cheat a little bit. It's not just good for your mind, but it actually helps trick your body to think it's eating a little bit. And that is, instead of just having a black coffee, have a little bit of cream in it. And it'll feel that, when you get those hunger pangs. Off the 20-hour fast, I don't get hungry. But I allow myself those cheats regardless because, one, I am used to having 6 to 8 cups of coffee a day. And, cutting it down, it seems more manageable. And eventually I'll be, having, during my fast, I won't have any coffees because my body will be used to going without. One thing I found out, though, the hardest thing is drinking water right when I wake up. My stomach doesn't want to hold the water. It just, it'll sit in my guts, and it'll, 5 minutes later, I'm in the bathroom. I'm throwing up from it. And it's just, throwing up the water. That's it. Nothing else comes out. Just the water I drank. And I've tried sipping the water in the morning. I've tried, just a little bits here and there. It doesn't work. So I have a cup of coffee in the morning, and then after that coffee, I'm able to drink water, and then it's like pounding water all day long. For that, I use bottled water. A lot of people advise you to use distilled water. It tends to help better, and it's better, for the cleanse part of the whole fasting. But one thing about distilled water I've noticed, and I've had a lot of distilled water in my life. Um, your mouth always feels dry after you're drinking it. I don't know if anyone else has experienced that. It feels like my mouth is dry all the time, and I'm thirsty and thirsty and thirsty, and I'll guzzle until like my gut blows up, and and all you can hear when you walk or you sit down is water sloshing around in your stomach. So I go for just bottled water instead, and to me it's like it's water's water, unless it's dirty or salt water. So like I said, I'm gonna be doing these updates now. I might not do them every day, but like I did today, I'm doing 2 days in one, and I gave you a breakdown on day 1 and 2. So like I said, day 2 I weighed myself in. I was 326 pounds. By day 3, it was 323.9. Today, it's 319.7. So 7 pounds in 4 days. That is not bad. If I was doing it just for the weight, I'd be excited just for that alone. Um, you know, to me, it's an all around experience and an all around life change. And I know if I stop fasting, I'm going to rebound quickly, and I don't want to do that. I want to continue doing this fasting, and I don't want to do long fasts like every other week. Do it safely. I want to do like a 5 day to 7 day fast coming up after Wednesday, and then maybe in what is it this month? This is August, right? Yes, it's August. Maybe in September, do a 10 day. And 10 day fast can be very challenging. And I've watched some videos about it. I've talked to people that have done it. And thankfully, I met someone. I was over at my older brother's place today, and his ex-wife is a nutritionist, and he does the water fasting as well. So he gave me some good advice with that, as well as his ex-wife is a nutritionist. Gave me some reading material about foods that would be better for me since I'm diabetic and stuff like that. So a big help, and I'll be reading intensely on it. It's overall a huge lifestyle change for me, and I'm seeing results not just in weight loss, but I'm seeing results in my sugar levels. I'm seeing results in my lymphedema. I'm hoping when I go see my family physician the next time, he's impressed with it as well and looks to alter some of the medication that he's got me on. So, like I said, I'm not taking any insulin right now. I'm not taking any of my diabetic meds. Not while I'm doing this. I wanted to have a clean comparison on what was going on. And I'm afraid if I take my insulin now, it would drop my sugars right to the bottom. And some people might say, well, these are kind of false readings because you're not taking your insulin. Well, to that I say, why take it if I don't need it? See, if I'm not fasting, then and I'm having these results, and I'm keeping it in those golden numbers, anywhere from 4 to 8, then why should I take my insulin and then worry about putting myself in the hospital because my sugars all of a sudden just slam right down to low, or other side effects? I don't want to experience it. You might call them false readings. To me, they're the best readings I've ever had. It might be while I'm fasting, but I'm only doing 20-hour fasts, and then I'm breaking it with a small meal, and I'm back into it. So it's helping. I want to thank you very much for joining me. Now, on a side topic, actually, you know what? We'll get into that another day. So keep following my progress here. Like I said, 7 pounds, 4 days already. You heard the numbers for my sugar levels. There's no denying it's working, and I'll keep on updating. I'll keep on fighting. I'll keep on doing whatever I need to do to get back into a healthy state of living, and hopefully anyone else out there that is inspired by doing the same thing and trying it out, especially if you are like struggling with diabetes or just overweight, you know, give it a good try. I mean, I know I'm only 4 days in. I'm only intermittent fasting right now, but give it a try. And like the last 4 days, I'm tired sometimes, but you know, I feel better as well in so many other ways. So I don't know. Keep on following. Maybe you decide to step in and step up and do the same. Always look for a better way to better yourself, and I'm doing that. So to me right now, I'm happy. So I'll catch you around, folks. Have a good day. Have a better tomorrow, though. I'm out of here.